450K in Delco gets you way more than you think, and this week's list proves it. Stick around because one of these homes has a feature that honestly shocked me at that price point. I'm Tom Fior, Philly and Delco Realtor. I grew up here, I live here, and I work with home buyers here every single day. This series is where I break down the newest homes under 450K so you know exactly what's hitting the market without the fluff. And if you want more than just the highlights that I show right here, the full list with photos, real-time updates, and every new home the second it hits the market, the link is in the description where you can sign up below. While you're there, grab my free 90-day homebuyer blueprint and my free homebuyer's guide so you can hit the ground running with confidence and ease. All right, guys, let's cut the chit-chat and give you what you actually came for. This list of homes right here is every home in Delaware County under 450K, at least 3 bedrooms, at least a bathroom and a half, and it has some kind of parking, a detached garage, a driveway, a something. It's got some kind of parking. If you're living in the suburbs, you want easy parking. So this is that right here. Anyway, let's dive right into this. I already know that I want to go for this very first one right here. Show this guy off. 1465 Lawrence Road in Havertown, PA. I know that address very well because it is directly across the street to the elementary school that I went to, Linwood Elementary. This is a whole little strip of row homes that sit directly across from the elementary school. They're cute little places, if I'm being entirely honest. And this one right here has amazing curb appeal, an awesome little porch. That front porch was very well decorated and very well kept. I really like that. A lot of those have an enclosed porch style, so to see this opened up, yes, it's less livable square footage, but I mean, look at that. That looks cool. That looks nice. I would live in that house. So let's just click through the photos here a little bit. Really nice, very well maintained. That looks like real wood floors there. That's awesome. Can't tell if this has been staged or if this is their furniture. Not really sure there, but either way, this house seems to be very well kept. It's got the real quartz, or not quartz, real granite countertops. Every day you're seeing quartz now and now. It's cheaper. It looks clean still, whatever, but that's real granite. That's cool. Stainless steel appliances. This place looks to be very well kept. Okay, carpet upstairs. I'm not personally a huge fan of carpet, but in the bedrooms is one thing. I love carpet in the bedrooms. The shiplap all the way around on one of the smaller bedrooms, that's really cool. That's just a little detail that somebody went the extra mile while owning this home just to spruce it up a little bit. Now, this bedroom right here, I can already tell you it is going to be the size of a shoebox, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. So, finished basement. Can already tell this is the basement, the way that window's set up there. Washer and dryer in basement, finished basement, carpeted. That's awesome. Jeremy Roenick jersey is a throwback to my childhood. Guy must be a cool Flyers fan. They got a little bed set up down there, okay? And that's probably why they're moving out of this house. Let's be real. This isn't the biggest house. I'm just going to go ahead and guess without even seeing it. Maybe 1,100 to 1,200 square feet. So that right there tells you something. It's not going to be huge. You know, they maximize their livable space. That's an awesome little back porch there. Even better to see that it is made with Trex instead of real wood. You will not have the problem of termites because in the suburbs, that is real. We got a detached garage there. That's incredible. Cool little back of the house. Siding seems to be in good updated shape. Newer concrete pour there with the back slab patio. That's awesome. Again, this is not the biggest house. This is not the biggest property, but they are maximizing the livability of this space. I can tell you right there as well. They have newer HVAC, at least a newer compressor or newer condenser that's outside. That's a good sign. Some things like this just tell you that the people kept care of their home, and that goes a very long way. Okay, there's the back of the garage. Now, let's give you some details. And that's Linwood Elementary, so that's actually the new Linwood Elementary. This is that row of homes right here sitting on Lawrence Road, and then that's Linwood Elementary. The old elementary school used to sit a little bit further back, more up towards this way. When I went there, of course, they redid it after I left, but all good. So let's see what else we got in terms of details of this one. Let's get out of the photos. So again, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms. What did I say, about 1,100 square feet? 1054 right there. So it's not a huge home. We know that. But look at that price, $324,000. This place is going to fly. It is going to fly off of the market. I wish it wasn't because I would move in tomorrow. Let's see what we got. So annual taxes are $44.66. This is very low in Havertown. That is a great number, okay? You're not getting a lot of property. You're not getting a lot of house, and that's reflected in that number right there. But that's a low number to be in the Delaware County suburbs. I can tell you that right off the bat. So, no other details, but that's a great little place. That's an awesome little house, $324,900, amazing price for Havertown, right across the street from Linwood Elementary. Yes, Lawrence Road is a bit of a main road, but they priced accordingly. No harm done there. All right, let's dive right into our next one here. So the next one that I'm seeing that I want to check out, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house sitting at 367 Highland Terrace in Holmes, PA. It's Ridley School District. It's at just over 1,000 square feet, 1079, and it's listed at 359.9. Let's take a look at these photos. Let's see what we got. It's got really cool curb appeal. Looks like a little Cape Cod. Cool little front porch. Well-maintained little yard there. Looks like they got a boat. I wonder. Yeah, no, that's definitely. I was going to say maybe that's the neighbors, but there's a jet ski over there, so I'm just going to put 2 and 2 together. That's most likely theirs, and it could be a shared driveway in between the houses as well, but that I'm not certain of just from the photos. So this is not the biggest house. It's 1,000 square feet. So the living space, you can see, look, you got living room right here. You come in through the front door, you got living room into the dining room, and then it probably wraps around the kitchen, and you probably maybe have like a bedroom tucked over this way. But let's flip through the photos here. Let's see what we got. Okay, cool. So I mean, hey, wood floors, can't beat that. Got some aesthetic exposed beam there, not a real beam that's exposed. Nice place though. Let's see what we got in the kitchen here. Okay, so we have real stone countertops. Beautiful. That's amazing. Stainless steel appliances. That's awesome. Now, here we go. This is what you get with a 1,000 square foot home. Just like the last one, okay? You're going to have small bedrooms. They can only put them in so many places, and you only have so much room to work with. You can tell right here, you come in through that door, and it's bed. You got closet, and you don't have much more space in between. All right, so here we are with one of the bathrooms. Seems to be fairly updated. See what we got for the shower stall here, or the bath stall. Okay, that's cool. Completely updated with the tiles surrounding. Got a newer vanity put in. That's good stuff. Not old original. Here's the other bathroom here. Same thing. Beautiful tile floors. Nice big vanity sink there. Another stand-in shower. That's awesome. What else could you ask for when it comes to that? Now, again, here's another one of the bedrooms. It just seems narrow. It seems like a bit of a hallway style there. So, like I said, and you got the pitched roofs here. So, again, you're not going to be able to spread out quite as much as you'd like to. And it makes sense. They set this up as their nursery. Now, this right here, this looks like it's probably the master bedroom here. So, again, not the biggest rooms, guys. You're not going to have a ton of space. You can see that they have a dresser put in right there. They got some night tables scattered around, and that is definitely not even a queen-size bed. So you're really stretching your distance here with these smaller homes. Now, the basement like this, that's awesome. I'm sure the ceilings are maybe a little bit low, especially with the ventilation there. And if you were to finish this off and you were to fully finish and do the ceiling and everything involved, you're going to have to section off, and there's going to be some parts that drop a little lower, may not quite be walkable height. But that is a basement. I would finish this basement. It's clean. It looks decent. It's in good shape. Maximize your livable square footage. Okay, I can already tell you, I love the backyard right now. Again, Trex deck, that's awesome. Avoiding the whole termite issue with all of the wood that could just sit there to get soaked in the rain. Nice big backyard. I wish these pictures weren't so pixelated, but nice big backyard here. Looks like they got a little fire pit, little tree in the area. I always tell people a tree in the backyard is beautiful. It gives you some greenery. It gives you some extra, a little bit more of a feel of a backyard, but keep in mind, when a storm comes, that thing is very close to the house. Awesome backyard. Looks like they had a little chicken coop back there of some sort. That's cool. You're seeing that a lot more in Delaware County these days. So let's get a little bit more details for you guys. It's only been on the market for 3 days, so that tells me it has made it past this weekend. They might be listed a little high. That's what that says to me. But who knows? They could be throwing around offers with people right now from over the weekend, and it just hasn't gotten taken off yet. A 6,000 square foot lot with a 1,000 square foot home. You can put an addition on that. straight up right there, you can put an addition on this house and get that much more livable square footage. Now, I know that's easier said than done. Additions aren't all that cheap, like yada yada yada. But nonetheless, the opportunity is there. You have the room to do so if you would like. Now, taxes on this property are $56.30 for the year. That makes sense. Ridley's taxes have gone up pretty recently. Delaware County did their reassessment a few years back, and looks like they hit them accordingly, to be honest. Between the square footage of the lot itself, it's a nice little home sitting on it. $56.30 makes sense to me. Now, the last home for today, we got one more. We're going to kick it right back to Havertown. We got a 3-bed, 1.5 bath, 1664 square foot home. The address is 911 Darby Road, Havertown, PA. Again, Darby Road's a bit of a main road. I know exactly where this sits. There's a strip of row homes kind of diagonally across from the smaller Wawa that sits on Darby Road there, right by the stadium. If you know the area, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, 3 beds, 1.5 baths, 1,664 square foot home, sits on a 2,178 square foot lot. It's been on the market so far for 2 days. Who knows? The price on this, $340, is amazing for that township, for that school district, for that everything. But let's dive right in. Let's see what we got here photo-wise. Here's the front of the house. The front of these houses literally all look the same. There is, other than whatever greenery and kind of decorating you do in terms of the landscape or the yard, they all look exactly the same. Cool little entryway in with the square glass doors. This is a nice house so far from what I'm seeing. This is the old original, I don't want to say old because old is a bad word, but that's the original hardwood. It looks to be very well maintained, very well kept. Could even be recently finished. I really can't tell from these photos, but it seems to be in good shape right off the bat. Fairly decent sized, livable living room right here. Once you're walking in right through the front door into this right here. You got the stairs on your left, and you got the whole living room opening up on the right. It looks to be like they got a little fireplace in there. Yes, that's awesome. Fireplace in the living room. Just adds to that cozy feel of the aesthetic of the home, if you will. Let's get through the living room. That's a lot of pictures of the living room. All right, so it goes the living room, into dining, into kitchen. Very classic, very formal, very traditional layout right here. So here's a little bit of the dining area. It looks like that's like maybe chalkboard paint on the wall there. Interesting choice for your living room. All right, so it's got mini splits throughout right here. So you can see a mini split right here. What a mini split is, you were seeing them more and more today, guys. It is basically, in my opinion, here's just my opinion, it's a glorified window unit, but it sits on your wall. There, I said it. It is what it is. However, they are way more efficient than window units. They do heat. They do air. They do have their own separate condensers outside, but they can be a bit of an eyesore. That's, like I said, just my opinion. Let's see what we got in the kitchen. Okay, cool. So you got tile flooring in the kitchen. Not granite or anything on the countertops or anything like that. That is absolutely laminate, but it looks to be decently updated appliances. I love the white cabinetry. Oh, that's a great kitchen. Swap out those countertops and you're good to go. Love that double door oven. That's really nice. I really like that. Okay, I like the separated sand. Okay, this is cool. This is a really cool kitchen. I really like the subway tile that they kept throughout. That's probably older, original, but nonetheless, it's in great condition, and it looks good with the aesthetic of how they just outlaid that entire kitchen there. One of my buddies grew up in one of these houses, and every single one of them has this really cool little like back deck right off of the kitchen, almost like a little bricked in veranda, if you will. They're really cool. They're very private. The neighbors really can't kind of see in from all angles, especially if you set it up in a cool way. And directly below this as well, there's a little garage entrance or back door entrance to every one of these homes. So it will have a little driveway in the back, and it will have some kind of garage, or they could have converted into more livable space and it's just a door straight in. But either way, again, original hardwood all the way throughout, even going up to the first floor. That's awesome. Here it is. The old puke green tile in the bathroom. You gotta love it. But it's in good working shape, guys. That's the one thing that you see these bathrooms, and yes, they're ugly. You can get that tile refinished if you want. You can get a new color put in if you like. You could go all white. You could go all black. You could do whatever you want. You can get that reglazed. That's not the end of the world. Ugly, sure. Functional, 100%. Cannot get away from that green freaking tile. I really do like that separated tub. You can see you got the stand-up shower right here, and then you got the separated tub. That's cool. It's got to be a decently sized bathroom if they're squeezing that in a not so big house. Bedrooms don't look horribly small compared to what we have seen today so far. Okay, and then this goes into the basement here. Okay, cool. So finished basement. You can see the mechanical room over here. You got some radiator heat throughout as well. So makes sense why they added the mini splits. Putting in vents in a house that doesn't have them is a project. It's a project to say the least. This old original wood pad, that's really cool actually. Stuff we've been there for quite some time. Drop ceilings. Okay. Here's the mechanical room for you. Washer and dryer stackable in the basement. That's going to go right out the back door right here to right underneath of that deck that we were looking at earlier. Okay, so no, it goes right into a garage. So these guys are one of the ones with the garage here. Here's that. So, yep, right there. Perfect picture. Driveway into the garage right there. Bing, bang, boom. There's that little deck that sits right on top right there. This is a nice place, but let's get some details. This is just the photos. What else do we got? So again, 1,600 square foot home, been on market for 2 days. What are the taxes? Taxes are $5,806, so not a terrible number. Definitely not the best one that we've seen so far today, but nonetheless, for Havertown, for Haverford School District, for a bigger property than the first one that we saw, $5,806, it makes sense. If you have been thinking about buying or selling a home in Delaware County, consider this your weekly cheat code right here. Go to the description below to get direct access to this list, as well as a ton of other free tools. I'll be going through this list and reviewing a few properties from it every single week to give you guys an inside look of what the market really looks like. Like, follow, subscribe if you want to keep a pulse on the Delaware County housing market.